it's a buddy, it's a pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is the yearly tradition. This is AEW All In. What the fuck is this show 2025? And that, of course, is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, my friend? I am, of course, excited to be here for the lauded and
I thought you were going to say you were excited about the show.
Oh, no. Fuck the show. I'm excited to be here for our annual WTF. You'll hear it after with the voice crack. But I'm excited. This is something that you and I have done for years now. Years. And I would have been heartbroken had we not been able to.
Now,
so I'm glad we met. Now let us resurrect from the dead and do the predictions.
We should caveat that we're doing this a weekend ahead of time because there is a whole lot of other better shows for us to preview later on through the week. So we are looking at a card right now of 8 matches. That's probably going to be a card of 28 matches by the time we get to next Saturday.
Yeah.
But
we can't knock them because WWE is not exactly booking shite in advance either, you know? Despot.
Hey, Evolution's got a bigger card than most other WWE shows this year. And as we said before we came, that's, I guess, what she said. I don't know if she looks at the size of my card. But we said before we came on the air, like 8 matches on this card, considering 2 of them are gigantic multi-person matches. This could be a card. It's going to be 3 times as big by the time we get to Saturday. All fairness to them, they're starting their show at like 3 in the afternoon to counter program NXT, obviously. So they can afford to go later into the evening, so it's not as egregious as a show starting at like 8 and then going until 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Saturday night's main event will end at 10 p.m. as we know. Like, it'll be a solid 2 hours in and out. I'm going to be doing a live show review of that like later on in the evening when I get home from the fireworks, probably 11 p.m. Eastern for those that'll hear this. And I'm going to just
we're going to get together on Sunday and do one massive weekend review.
That'll cover Evolution and
I'll be joining you for
Saturday.
That. Yeah.
I'm excited. So what I'm going to do is instead of doing like Great American Bash and then come back and do All In and Saturday main event, I'm just going to do one stream that night.
I was going to say even if you were home and you wanted to do a Great American Bash review, you'd be doing it while All In was still going on and while
it's not feasible,
Saturday night's main event's about to start. And last time we did that where we were trying to review one show while another one was going on, it was kind of a cluster screw.
Yeah.
So, not that it wasn't a good time.
We made it work, but it wasn't. But it didn't come out as clean as we wanted it to.
Reviewing and live reacting and trying to make sure everybody's all synced up. There's a reason we don't do the live review stuff. That's why we throw it over to our good friends at the Wrestling for Life Network. Check those guys out. They got a couple of good interviews up. They got their men's mental health stream that was up, and they do the best watch-alongs in the business.
I was talking with KJ. He's like, talk to Nick for the graphics, but I just do the shit. He's like, I'm like the Discord monkey. I just push the button.
That was Nick. Yeah. That was Nick telling you to talk to KJ.
Okay, that's what it was. Vice versa. I said it backwards, but yes.
Hey, shout out to Nick. Nick's a good guy, and he puts up with my nonsense.
They're both great guys. So,
anyways, coming around to this, and yes, it's a name of a video and it's the name of a podcast that sounds funny because I did it 3 years ago and I just never changed the name. This is not us coming to like drop bombs on AEW. This is just when we make our snide comments and we're considered way too sarcastic and whatever, we're going to use All In as the opportunity to talk about some of the issues that we have with AEW because it's supposed to be their apex show. You don't want to make the comparisons and, they don't have to be WrestleMania, but this is their WrestleMania. So this should be them putting their best foot forward. So if we want to put all of our criticisms of AEW into one basket, I think it's only fair to do it when they're putting supposedly their best foot forward. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody out there. And I did want to say, because we're going to land pretty hard on a lot of stuff, I thought I would start with a little bit of positivity. My 3 favorite, or not favorite, but most impactful AEW moments. And I just watched one the other night. And this is not we have CM Punk back, nah. I'm just saying, MJF CM Punk dog collar match. I just rewatched it last night. You cannot recreate the atmosphere that they recreated that night. And it was under the AEW banner.
Yeah.
And MJF was the AEW guy at the time. The atmosphere, the whole like CM Punk coming out to his ROH music. I didn't know that it was his ROH music. I just thought, like, here's this guy coming out to this cool anthem that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And they killed it. Right? Second,
That's hold on right away, so I don't have to
yeah,
repeat it twice. That's one of
yeah.
mine. I didn't know you were gonna do this, but I have three, and that number three is mine. I promise you, because my roommate that passed away, his favorite album, obviously at that time, was from AFI, their latest. So
Okay.
we listened to this on repeat. That's why I have it here for my intros.
Mhm. Very
And
cool.
seeing Punk come back out to that song was like really emotional for me. It was a great moment, and it was something that I wasn't expected. Milo liked it, you know.
Yep.
But I just wasn't
Um,
expecting it, and the dog collar match was so personal. It went to such a great level. I was all about
mhm.
it. It just
It was
yeah,
such the
that's number
perfect
three.
example because MJF, even though I technically saw MJF at Destiny slightly before AEW became a thing, I got to see him take on Josh Alexander for our title at the time. It was really cool introduction to the character. But going into AEW and steering away from the actual members of the elite, which I think are obnoxious as hell. Here's MJF, your AEW guy, and here's CM Punk, who's very much a Spaz guy.
Yeah,
And the atmosphere that like they created, and like I said, like I wasn't aware of what it was at the time, but I still knew because they put it out there properly, and the crowd was rabid for it and whatever. That this was an important thing. This was a callback. This was a something important to both wrestlers, etc. He had the old
yeah,
ROH gear with the shorts and everything. Fantastic match. I'm going to be biased because it's CM Punk, obviously, but I'm also biased towards MJF, even though they're not using him very well right now. Really cool moment. Second is partially because I was in the building, but Forbidden Door in Toronto, you took one guy that I didn't like very much and one guy that I didn't know, and it became probably the best match I saw live that year, and that was Kenny Omega taking on Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega started winning me back around that night. Will Ospreay got my attention pretty much from day one, if I'm fair. Watching that match live was, I don't even know what you want to call it. It was like an adrenaline rush
yeah.
for the audience. And it was big, it was bloody. They didn't hold back. I haven't gone back to watch it on TV because I want to maintain the memory of seeing it live. And once you kind of watch it on TV, it muddles that. Huge thing for me. I went there because CM Punk was there. I went there because I'd never seen any Japanese live before, any Japanese wrestling live before. And I came away thinking, fuck, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay killed it. And Kenny Omega, since then, has continued to win me over with, just the way that he's been like the anti-tribal guy. And Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay.
Yeah, no kidding. And I want to see them. I want to see them succeed here. Like I want to see this
Yep.
matter. I want to see Swerve and Will come out of this making something of this. And I
Oh,
like the fact.
we'll get to a rumor. We'll get to a rumor that I heard later on when we talk about the main event.
Yeah,
It's fun, and I really want to get your reaction to it because I think you'll roll your eyes as much as I did. But
but
like I say, turned me around on it took Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE for me to come around on Cody Rhodes.
yeah, you
Kenny
were not a
Omega,
staunch hater, but you just weren't of the
I
mindset.
wasn't
You
in it.
didn't get
He
it.
wasn't my guy.
Yeah, it just
Like
didn't click for
I didn't
you.
hate him, but he wasn't my guy. And I think some of the stuff that he over eggs, even in WWE, are still there, but they're pulling them back. They're finding a balance, and there is sort of like, I don't want to use their vernacular, but like the undeniable quality of Cody Rhodes is the guy in WWE. Kenny Omega very much stayed in AEW, has been through all the personal shit that he's been through, the medical shit that he's been through as well. But like you see him talking about people and in like chats on his streams or whatever, like, fuck off, stop digging the WWE guys. We're not doing that here. He sticks up, he shouts out like Roman Reigns and people like that and what they've achieved and all that kind of thing. But the winning me over outside the ring had to start with winning me over in the ring, and that happened in the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto in his match with Will Ospreay, which was also just flat out a fantastic match.
Yes.
Now, the third thing that I have, and it's one of those like, oh fuck, AEW is really a thing that's happening. It wasn't even a match. It was kind of a backwards, like me sitting there as an NXT guy and saying, and I remember texting this to you while we were
Oh
watching it,
yes.
and I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but it was the one where they introduced Adam Cole first, and there was a big kerfuffle about that. And then on the back of that, you also had Brian
It was
Danielson,
all
whatever.
out 2021 because it was Punk's first
Okay.
match, and then Brian and Cole debuted.
at the end. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think I texted you at the time just to be like, I think we might be fucked.
Yeah, you're like, I think that's something. Tony's got an unlimited checkbook and he's starting to play ball here. That was when I really was like, oh, the momentum has changed, boys. Because there was a point in time where I just said this on the Around the Ballpark podcast I was guesting on.
Yep.
Nice enough to have them. Shout out to those friends of the
Yeah,
channel.
please give them a shout out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and check them out. They're always in my description box. You know, when you go ahead and check out the channel. But
You're in high demand today.
I am indeed. This is show number 6. No exaggeration. So
Nice.
it's
There we
been
go.
going, and I couldn't be happier. Honestly, I love doing this. I love talking, and you know, I never shut up. So I want to see this matter. And my number 2 for me personally was, and it sounds so ridiculous, but in a vacuum, in a bubble, I was not. I wanted to like Cody in the worst way
Mm.
because I hated Stardust and I respected him so much for what he did with Stephen Amell and all the work he did and how they built up with everything with Neville, and because I was very big into Arrow. I loved that show. I was big into the Arrowverse on the CW at first, and it got messy later when they involved everything and it became too much, you know, trying to keep up with Marvel kind of idea. But at its core, it was this really cool thing. And then Cody guest starred on there, and he was in Ring of Honor, and now he's becoming undeniable, you know, undesirable, undeniable, all that. So I want to like Cody in AEW, but I can't. It's just not working. And then Jade Cargill comes out and cuts her debut promo, and out of nowhere, Brandy Rhodes runs out and said, "Who the hell told you it's open mic night, bitch?" And she berates and cuts into Jade like she is just you know, the gardener, not this massive Amazonian badass that's going to rip you into pieces. You know, she's the Black Wonder Woman and you're nothing. But the way that she stood up for her husband, knowing that her husband couldn't strike back against this random woman, and it was all to lead to the Shaq stuff, which didn't work out. And Brandy, you know, wasn't able to compete, being pregnant. And blah, but that initial promo,
Did
all of
they
that.
subbed in Red Velvet for that,
Yes,
didn't
they did. Yeah. So it was doomed already. But all in all, that initial opening, the debut of Jade, and the way it was handled with Brandy, it was so awesome in the unintended way, and it was so
It
well
was
done.
ringing with potential.
Yes, exactly. It got me excited, and it didn't last, but in that moment, and my number 1, Selfish, I saw it in person. Grand
There you go.
Slam, we're there, and the Acclaimed win the tag titles.
There you go.
People were like ready to throw babies in the air. They were so excited because the Acclaimed, they thought were going to win at was it All In right there, I believe, or All Out?
I believe so, yeah.
No, it was All Out where everyone made their
Yeah,
debuts.
they hadn't brought
we
back
just
All
talked.
In yet.
Yeah, not yet. So we went ahead and we're there, and I'm like, oh my god, and they did it. They won the tag titles. I was like, holy shit, they actually did it. And it was incredible. The response, the reaction, the people. I mean, it was something else. And it just got better and better with the Acclaimed until they kind of ruined it, unfortunately. But them winning those tag titles in that moment was so big to me, and so.
And when you're there, everything gets magnified tenfold anyway.
Yeah,
I remember there
exactly.
being a lot of conversation about like why didn't they do it at the pay-per-view? Why'd they wait till like an elevated weekly episode, as we would call it? But for somebody like you who was in the building, all the better for you.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
you'd fall very much on a smaller side of that conversation. Anyways, the point, and thanks for playing along, by the way. I didn't know you were gonna come up with your own 3 as well.
Hey, I
The
had to.
reason why I chose the 3 that I chose, and the reason that I chose the 3 that stuck up for me, right?
Yes.
Punk versus MJF, atmosphere. Osprey versus Omega, action. Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan showing up at the same time, momentum.
They were all more than just a match, though. They were all more than just something.
That's why I chose the Adam Cole Bryan Danielson moment, because that wasn't even a match. That was just a moment.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about atmosphere, action, and momentum are 3 things that I do not feel at all anymore when I watch AEW. I've said it before, and we've already mentioned the the Wrestling for Life guys once, and I'm going to mention them again. If I wasn't watching their watch-alongs, I wouldn't watch Dynamite. I know you stopped.
Yeah, I couldn't do it live, and it lost that allure to me,
Mm.
that specialness.
Yep.
The need to
It's
actually
as
watch live. Now it's like, oh, I'll catch up. And I'm looking forward to All In, but it's more like I'm making myself, you know?
Yeah, it's more like it's happening in wrestling, so I should probably keep track of it rather than I'm excited to see it. Like, I will tune into Dynamite and I will wait for like, now that Darby's back, I'll wait to see what Darby does. Now that we have Will Ospreay over there, still bummed we didn't get him on the other side, I'll be honest about it, but
Yeah.
I'll watch whatever Ospreay's doing. I'm becoming more familiar with Mark Briscoe, I'll watch whatever Mark Briscoe's doing, but, like, put any other pinpoint on anything. As I said again, we're gonna get to the John Moxley thing because it's the supposed main event. But for the amount of fan that I was of Dean Ambrose, let alone John Moxley, and then when he first showed up in AEW and was like Dean Ambrose turned up to 11 as John Moxley, did the whole like breaking out of prison thing and whatever, and like I could look at that and like even if it's not my company, there's my guy. The amount that I do not give a shit about John Moxley now, and I hate to use the expression because I got it from Short Mike over in the UK there, but, like, it's promotional malpractice, how much I do not care about John Moxley these days.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to that match when we get to it, but I'm just like, in general, like, never mind the guys that are dickheads, never mind the Bucks and Sasha
Yeah. No,
Banks and all the idiots that are there for
John
reasons that
just
we're all
is an
aware of.
afterthought. You're absolutely right. Like
He is.
he does not matter at all. And
Mhm.
here's the thing with him, that group, all of it doesn't feel threatening. Like there was a point in time early on where they were wrecking shop. They were running roughshod on everybody. Like there was no
Yep.
stopping them. Marina was keeping guard by all the women. And then you saw like Willow and all the Avengers Assemble moments that happen. And everybody comes
Mhm.
out to beat. How many times have they all been compromised and beat down and Moxley still retains time and time and it's just heat after heat after heat. You got, Christopher Daniels punching his own head to bleed.
But it's not heat though, because the minute and like it's 5-on-1, and as soon as one more person
Yeah.
steps out and it's now 5-on-2, they bail like bitches.
True,
Like
true. So
everybody's like,
they
"Oh,
think
well,
they're getting heat.
you don't say that about the bloodline." It's like, no, 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 no. I
And
I hate the fact that AEW has made Dean Ambrose the least cool member coming out of the Shield.
yeah.
When we would have said, like, we would have said Roman 5 years ago. We would have said Roman with a bullet 5 years ago.
And here's the
Roman's killing
thing.
it. I no nothing against the guy. Roman's killing it now, and he's
Yeah.
got himself to a point where he's at now. But like
But Roman was not it.
Roman
He,
wasn't it forever.
Spaz, you know
And
as well
like,
as I do too. Like Seth is doing the whole I'm the revolutionary, I'm reinventing myself because I'm telling you these guys are the future. Roman's like I am it. I am the tribal chief. What is Dean Clambros doing? What is he saying? What is he nothing? Nothing. Moxley is
he got a
he said a
briefcase.
bunch of endless babble and he has the
Mhm.
title hidden in a briefcase. They never
Oh, we're
explained
gonna
why.
yep.
They never explained a single motivation or reason
They
what
had
they
him
were
do an interview.
doing.
They had him do an interview with his own wife where he looked at her just like she was any other, like, interviewer, like,
Yep.
that's not insulting to the intelligence to begin with, and say, "Well, you guys will see the title again when I think you deserve to see the championship. I have the championship. That's all you need to know." And that was a year ago. Just about. I'm sorry, I'm not up on my dates here, but, like, that feels like it was about a year ago.
yeah.
But anyways, we will start off like I said, I wanted to start off with some positivity and like I did want to give this place a shot.
We
Um
tried.
we we got to I think you and I said it on a pod a couple months ago. Neither one of us is really up for AEW right now. You hope they get better. I'm indifferent at this point if they
Yeah,
fall
I
apart.
don't
Like,
dislike AEW. I don't want them to do
no.
bad. I like Tony Khan. I like people that are in AEW. It's not like I'm
Yeah,
against them because they hurt Punk and I don't like. No, it's not that. I'm just not overly interested
it
in the
doesn't
product
help.
anymore. It doesn't help, but
The other stuff from I'm sorry, like when you hear the stories
that's what
of
made me
like
fall
how
out
Ray
of love with them.
yeah,
Certainly, yeah. But what
but,
I'm
like,
saying is they've done
How
nothing
Ray
to
was
do the.
treated on the way out,
Yeah,
how Saints was treated on the way out, Penta wasn't mistreated, but he fell to the
he was a
mistreatment of his
bargaining chip.
brother. He
And
was, yeah.
and you know what really sucks is anytime we say anything like this, people say, well, WWE. We're not saying WWE didn't do terrible shit to wrestlers their entire time,
Mhm.
but they're not going around claiming that they're doing better than WWE while doing all
Well,
this dastardly
this is the
shit.
thing as well, and
AEW is
we're
saying they're great. We don't release people. We don't fight. And then they're pulling this bullshit. So
mhm.
it's the
And it's also
hypocrisy of
like
it all that's the
we're not
problem.
going to do the fans versus fans thing tonight, but the difference between us and the AEW fans is we remember the tarps.
Mm,
We will tell you about the tarps. We will tell you 2019 was fucking bullshit.
yeah,
But
no
they
shit.
can't. They can't.
I
All
mentioned
they
that earlier
have.
today. I said you guys forget what bad TV really is. You call these
Mhm,
Raws and SmackDowns terrible. I said you
mhm,
don't know what terrible Raws are.
mhm.
You don't remember Roman eating dog food? I mean, come on, guys. There
Yep.
are worse things than what you're getting right now, and people have to be so vitriolic and so hyperbolic and so extra. I really don't even know the word to describe it. It's just that
Yeah.
sense of being extra, where they have to be like, "This
It's a
is the worst
dependence.
ever." Yes.
It's a dependence, right? It's
Like
like,
Trump
okay,
delusion, your delusion syndrome, same idea. WWE delusion, where they have to be negative about the product no
the
matter
the
what.
well, okay, great point, and I'm not going to repeat the name, but the point still stands. The other side has to be bad because all we have is we're not them.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all.
that's
But it's
it.
like the whole like I'm not somebody that hates Kane, hates Glenn Jacobs like a lot of people do these days. His character was never going to work properly ever. Do you know why? Because his entire character was I'm the Undertaker's brother.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a Ryan Nemeth, what we see now over in TNA. AEW, as long as their whole shtick is come watch us, we're not WWE, you're gonna have people thinking about WWE. It is what it is.
yeah,
To be AEW is just constantly be under attack. No, you're attacking yourself because the victim card is the only card you have. Oh, counter programming. You don't own the days of the calendar. Fuck off.
yep,
Now, let's switch over to something relatively actually, I don't know whether you and I agree with this or not. The men's and women's casino gauntlet matches, I don't mind them. I like AEW's various versions of, casino battle royal, casino gauntlet, casino tag gauntlet. I think they're fun. The casino battle royals where you had the Joker at the end were a little bit better.
yeah.
This with the they're never going to do it sudden death, but like the potential sudden death
Hmm.
nature of it, it's not an idea that I mind at all.
No,
There is
no.
the opportunity now, we don't have very, as you mentioned before we came on, there's not very many participants announced. Mark Briscoe and MJF are number 1 and 2 with Mystico somewhere in the mix as well for the men, and only Chris Statlander has been announced for the women.
Yeah,
But the idea that technically, no matter how many people are in the gauntlet, guy number 1 could pin guy number 2 and we don't see anybody else. So,
yeah.
like, the sudden death element of it it's kind of a counter to the Royal Rumble where, like, if you're in the Royal Rumble, why wouldn't you wanna be last?
Mm.
In the Casino Gauntlet, you either wanna be first or last. Because if
Essentially,
you're
because
first.
well, even last is bad because you want to be first or as front of the pack as you can be because what are
Yeah, but
you
if you're
gonna
last,
do? Yeah, you're
if you're
last, you're
last, if you're
screwed.
last, you yeah, but if you're last, you didn't lose. If you're last, you walk away saying, "I can't lose, I was never in the match."
I
And you
guess maybe,
you
but
shouldn't like, you call it a draw. If you're in the match, when the win happens, you lost. If the win happens and you were never there, you didn't lose. Maybe that's just the way I look at it,
yeah.
but it's the old cliche of, like, they're in a triple threat match, there's the winner, the loser, and the third guy. And the third guy always comes back and says, well, I didn't lose, so I should get another shot. The person that never makes their way into the casino gauntlet has a bigger argument for that than the third guy in the triple threat match, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, no doubt about it.
But both matches are set for a chance at the various tag team championships at the various world titles at some point. They haven't been specific with it. They haven't said you're getting the title shot at X pay-per-view, and they haven't said you get to cash it in. So I don't think they're doing what Christian had, which was basically their discount version of the Money in the Bank briefcase on a clipboard.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're doing that again, which didn't really work because it was discount Money in the Bank. I think they'll just announce maybe on the night that what's the next pay-per-view after this?
It's Clash.
No, 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 in AEW?
Oh, AEW.
Forbidden
I'm
Forbidden
looking
Door.
at, yeah, Forbidden Door. I'm looking at backwards. I have the schedule in front of me for both, and I'm looking at next, and I'm like, duh.
So
Long
Forbidden
day, a lot
Door.
of shows, friend.
Yeah. Now, for all the shit that I talk, I am going to All Out because it's in Toronto, so maybe
Yeah,
it'll be at All Out.
you can't miss that. That's going to be an amazing show,
It'll be a lot of
certainly.
fun. I said this
Live, they always
to
put on good shows live. I say amazing, I'm
Yeah.
saying like in person, you're always going to have fun.
Oh,
Even if
yeah.
it's bad wrestling, you'll have fun at AEW. The problem is the story that's lacking to get me want to watching it week to week. I like to tune in for the pay-per-views because they're going to give you great wrestling like always. Even if you don't
Mhm.
enjoy 1,000 kickouts and whatnot,
It's
Khan
even as
still
simple
cooks.
it's even as simple as it's the company that I don't like, it's not the wrestlers. Now, when I say the company, I'm gonna include the Bucks in that because they help run the company.
Yeah, they
I'm gonna
are the
include Sasha
company.
Banks in that because she's got knee pillows in the executive office. It's
That's why
fine.
that stipulation with the Bucks makes me a little uneasy. You know, we'll get to it,
Oh,
but
okay. So the Casino Gauntlet, we don't know who's in it. Chris Statlander's the only one announced for the women. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they do something good here in the sense that they are in Texas and she's not anywhere else on the card. I'd like to hope
nope,
that Athena wins.
nope.
I know she's in the ROH pay-per-view the night before, right?
Yep, they're not even doing it. I don't even know if she's completely with the ROH pay-per-view the night before. I mean,
Mhm.
they're
I mean, there's nothing that's if she is participating in the ROH pay-per-view the night before, I wanna give
yeah,
them as much grace as possible. There's nothing to say that she can't wrestle 2 nights in a row.
yeah, exactly. I
She could be a
mean,
surprise in the gauntlet because everybody will think like, "Oh, we already got, Sasha versus Athena once, and Athena got squashed because
I think
politics."
she's on
Maybe
Supercard. Yeah, she's taking on Thunder Rosa, but I know she's
Yes,
not
she
going to
is.
be on All In. There's no way. I wish she was. She had a match to try and qualify for the
Yep.
Battle Royal, and I thought she didn't make it through that either. So
I think I don't but here's the thing, and this is where I think AEW tweaks things a little bit, and they're not just doing like WWE does the qualifiers for the Royal Rumble, which is kind of strange because like everybody gets into the Royal Rumble anyway. I
yeah,
think when they did their qualifiers and it was specifically for spot one and specifically for spot two,
yeah,
that made a little bit more sense because
yeah. Because you
you're
can win
not
right
gonna
off the bat.
because if it's a 20 person no, but if it's a 20 person gauntlet, you're not having 20 qualifier matches.
No,
Tony Khan's never going to put that many women's wrestling matches on a show.
not even
Let's be
throughout the
real for a
year.
second. But like, so I'm just saying, like, she didn't win the number one spot, doesn't mean she's not in the match. I want to give them a little bit of credit because I'm not going to be able to do it later on down the line. I think because it's in Texas and because it's Athena and everybody loves Athena and Athena's fucking great and incredibly underutilized, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and the credit to say that she's not only going to be in it, but win it. If not, Chris Statlander, why not?
She's the only
For the
one
men,
known. I think Tekla's going to win the Spider Lady
okay, fair. For the men, the
because
only
she's
people we
not on the
know about
card, right? She's not in anything else.
no,
So
no,
I think she wins that.
yeah.
The
For the men,
men, we know
it's
Mark
Mark
Briscoe.
Briscoe,
Yeah,
MJF, and Mystico.
they just added
And
Mystico, so
yeah, my thing about that is I think those exact three names are going to take each other out. I
probably.
think you're going to get a situation where maybe I don't know because it's not elimination, it's pin, right?
Yeah,
But I think the three of them will get in each other's faces or something or other. Mark Briscoe and Mystico will both try to get their hands on MJF and they'll end
but
up
I thought
screwing each
people could
other
be
over.
eliminated too. I don't remember.
It's first pin. It's
I know
first
that,
pin.
but um,
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at it right now. This is amazing for the audio listeners.
yeah, right here it
Uh,
says the match starts to resident. They may end at any time, pinfall or submission, even if not all 21 are in.
yeah, it's first pin.
Yeah, it's just
There is no
pin.
elimination. Yeah.
I didn't think so,
If
but
if it was
they had.
if
Oh,
it
you know
was a
why?
casino battle royal,
Yeah,
because you're thinking casino
that's
battle royal.
Royale. Yeah, not Gauntlet. So okay, I'm not
If it was a
crazy.
casino
It's
battle
just
royal, I could see like
that's what they've done it
M-
for.
MJF and what's the word I'm looking for? Eliminates Mark Briscoe, and then Mystico eliminates MJF, but MJF runs back and eliminates Mystico, which
Yeah.
would be kind of a Royal Rumble spot, but I think it would work. And then, I mean, that's not a bad triple threat match for later on down the line, if
Mm-mm.
nothing else. MJF Mark Briscoe one on one is going to be a feud, but I mean, throw Mystico in the mix, make it fun, make it triple threat, do a little flippy dippy
Absolutely,
doo
get him
dah.
in there.
They want to do like their own version of Worlds Collide. Fine. But yeah, I'm going to go with none of the guys that are announced for the match, and Athena with Chris Statlander as a secondary choice for the ladies.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tekla
I
and hmm,
You see, Deanna Perrazzo out there on Twitter. It's like, where do you guys want to see me wrestle? And all the responses are like, anywhere that's actually going to put you on TV.
yeah, anywhere we can see you.
Eh, where do you want to see me? Anywhere we can see you. It's fine.
Okay. Women's tackle, I'm saying, but the men's, ooh, who's a good men's star that hasn't really gotten much utilization that would be big from this? Like, I don't think they'll give it to MJF. I don't see Mystico getting it or Mark Briscoe. Kyle Fletcher's already got a match. Like, Takeshita would be a decent one
I
in
was gonna say
something like
anybody else
this.
that I would picture are in other matches.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what they're gonna
Oh,
go with.
oh, overlooking the obvious. If this is the return of Darby Allen, it'll be Darby Allen.
I have a different idea for Darby. I don't think Darby's
Okay.
coming here. He could just to get the title match out of the way, and then he's got it. But I
Mm,
think it's going to be a completely different thing.
mm. If I do have a thought for later on down the line,
Get it
if
hurt?
MJF is the winner,
Yes.
but we'll get to that later on.
Okay. We're both
Starting
doing
from the
that.
bottom, now we're here. The non-existent tag team division in AEW, which used to be the company for tag team wrestling, the Hurt Syndicate is apparently taking on Jet Speed and the Patriarchy. Which, first and foremost, how the hell did the Patriarchy get into this? Second off, I saw Speedball Mike Bailey have a better match last night on MLP Resurrection than he'll get a chance to do here.
Hmm. No doubt about it.
Even though he's stuck in the Callis family right now, another good shout for the men's gauntlet match would be Josh Alexander. I'd love to see it. They're not using him properly, so they probably won't, but
Yeah.
is what it is. Hurt Syndicate's gonna kill 4 other people. I what are we
So
doing here?
here's my thought. Um, Christian Cage gets pinned, and
Okay.
then the rest of the patriarchy start beating the shit out of Christian.
Okay.
And that's when Adam Cole comes out and makes the save to start their reuniting.
Adam Copeland, you mean?
Yes, yes. I'm still not used to saying Copeland, Cope, all that. So
Yeah,
I keep saying Cole. You know what I mean.
I do.
Adam
Just making
Copeland,
sure.
yes. Edge Copeland will come out there, but not Edge, just Adam Cope. And
Or just Cope.
he will save his dear friend Christian Cage. He will see him getting destroyed and he'll feel
I do
bad.
wanna see it, but there's a lot of mess because, like, how do you justify that after all they did to each other? What do you do with the rest of Christian Cage's group, which is just, like, Nick Wayne and his mom and Kip Sabian being creepy third guy in the corner on the chair? What do you do with Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, seeing as you've literally made them be, like, 2 other bodies in the corner not
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
anything?
basically they just get destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate, and then same thing with the Patriarchy, but they get pinned. And then the next challengers are going to be Edge and Christian versus the Hurt Syndicate, and that'll be a big money matchup for All Out or whatever they
You
do.
know what I Okay, but you know what I don't understand? Okay, All Out would make the most sense because it's in Toronto, have them come together in Toronto. I'll
That's what
take
I'm
that.
thinking.
Don't
That's why I'm
don't get me
saying that.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I will take that. I was there when he retired from WWE
Hmm.
against Sheamus. It was a lot of fun, even though they were getting chants. I will love to see that match, right? But here's the thing: as we stand right now, that tag team isn't a tag team, right?
Yeah.
Tell me how, when we keep getting told all the time that the 2 best tag teams in the world are the Young Bucks and FTR. I agree with one of those. Um, how are not neither of their actual tag teams left going for the tag team titles at what is supposed to be their WrestleMania?
This is supposed to be the WrestleMania. Nothing feels special. Honest to God.
They put 2 discount Royal Rumbles in their discount WrestleMania. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
They're trying to
They
stuff
got
the show with stuff. Speaking of Adam Cole, I mean, his match with Kyle. Oh, hold on. So we agree the Hurt Syndicate retain?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher,
Unless
I want to get into next for reasons.
un unless because a triple threat match does indicate no disqualification and Christian Cage has Kip Sabian in his corner. Christian Cage did at one point have like mental control or whatever over Killswitch, who's been away medically, but nobody's heard anything recently, and this would be a really shitty comeback if
Apparently,
they
he's
win.
clear and able to wrestle and return too, and he's another one like Keith Lee
Okay.
and others being ghosted.
But is it one of those things where we all think that there's going to be the face turn for Christian and the Christian and Edge team and da 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 da, when really it's just Christian's family is like bigger and better than ever and blah blah blah, and then you get like this 5-on-2 situation because triple threat matches are no DQ. I'm not saying that I want that.
Yeah, that's too much. I
I'm
don't
just
think.
saying Christian. Yeah, okay, but look at the company we're talking about here.
No, I know.
Like they like to do a lot.
I'm saying too much for them at this point because it takes too much investment to explain all that story. They wouldn't give that unless
Mhm.
it's the Young Bucks. They're not going to go that involved.
These are the guys that do anarchy in the arena. It doesn't have to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay. On the other side of that coin, it will be a good thing to hear that Luchasaurus, Killswitch, whatever his real name is, who was apparently on his fucking deathbed, is able
Mm-hmm.
to come back and wrestle. That's a net positive for like real life people. Still not saying it makes a lick of sense. They could do so much better with Speedball. I'm not the biggest Kevin Knight guy, but give him something.
Yeah, I like Kevin
Um,
Knight more than I like Speedball. Speedball to me is just awkward.
that's fair.
I just view him
I've
as kind of cringy, like he's trying to be Karate Man that Ethan
Yeah,
Page used to be as a joke.
that's fair. That's fair. I don't deny that, but I still think beyond that
He's not a
he's
bad wrestler
fantastic, and
by any means.
he shouldn't
It's
be a
just
squash merchant, is what I'm saying.
yeah, he's not been taken serious and he's also treated like a jobber. So yeah,
If
but
anything, how do you have him and Josh Alexander on your roster and not either have them feud because they've done it in two other companies,
yeah,
or have them be a tag team like the Great Canadians or whatever the fuck?
there's a lot of questions like that. That's why I'm saying up next. I know they've had the patriarchy taking on, Don Callis' family over and over ad
Mm.
nauseum with the Paragon and all this bullshit. But this is another match. It just kind of feels like we've seen it over and over and
Mm.
over again because of all the 6-man and tags and all the other versions we've gotten of it. So Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher should be a huge matchup for
Here's the
fans.
thing. Here's the thing. Like, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, right? Because I want these guys both to be fighting for something. I know a lot of people have fallen off Adam Cole. Adam Cole's also had a lot of in and out medical stuff. Kyle Fletcher had to come out from underneath the idea of being like Will Ospreay Jr. And I think he's another one like Ospreay who, even though he's in the Callis family, he is a reason to tune in and watch. But
Yeah,
like when his match is over, you can turn it off again.
yeah.
Is it funny for me to say that I would care more about this match if it wasn't for the TNT title?
No, no.
Because the TNT title doesn't mean anything.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying too. Is
Like
that
you are
it's
positioned,
forgettable. I didn't even mention it first because I forgot it was for the title because he doesn't feel like an actual champion.
but I think at this point, like, do you remember when? And it wasn't an intention of theirs, right? But do you remember
No, but there's
before
so many
WWE
belts.
had no? But I'm going to use a WWE example to be fair, right? If you were like in the WWE at the time, before there was brand splits and 100 belts and whatever, and they had WWF title, Intercontinental title, European title, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it wasn't really ever their implication, but like because it was the last one made, the European title felt like the bronze medal.
yeah.
Like you didn't want to win the European title because it meant you were down. It solidified where you were. I
See, I
think the
disagree. I
TNT
felt like
title,
that was a stepping stone. A lot of people use the European title to get the IC title to get the main title.
right? But if you had somebody that you thought should have been in the IC title contention, and then they picked up the European title, it was a solidified step down in your
Downgrade.
mind because
Yes.
you thought,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Granted.
okay, so you see, well, we're going to talk
Yes.
about the other titles that they're combining in a second as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like this match, just as a one-on-one match on the card, would be awesome. But by putting that title in there, by putting that title on Adam Cole's shoulder, you said, okay, don't get too excited about this match because here's where we see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even including like the Paragon and the Callis family and all the extraneous
Ad
stuff. That's
nauseum.
just
Yeah.
that's just these two guys and the title they're fighting. The title they're fighting is an anchor on their shoulder rather than an elevating device at this point.
Yeah. Kyle should be getting this
Like,
belt and on his way to step up to be a bigger champ someday. But
is it
no,
what? I mean, maybe
Cole
Darby
doesn't add
may
anything to the belt, like you said.
But here's the thing, though, like, and I don't put that on Cole because if you expected him to take that belt and lift it up from where it was, who was the last memorable TNT champion? I would say maybe Darby or maybe Sammy. Other than that,
Samoa Joe.
I don't even remember Samoa Joe having it. I'm not, and I sound like I'm just trying to be a dick. I do not remember.
No,
I remember
I'm
he
pretty
was the
sure you had
world
it.
title holder
Yeah.
briefly, which is great and wonderful, and like I want all the good positive things for Samoa Joe. Don't get me wrong, but I don't remember him carrying it because I probably looked at him and looked away from the belt because it's like don't do that to Joe. It's an anchor at this point. When you consider how many other titles have come and gone since it was the secondary title, never mind the fact that let's be real for a second, it's just a hood ornament for the TV network that they're on. Just
Basically, yeah.
saying. This match would be better if it wasn't for the TNT title. Kyle Fletcher's going to win. I feel bad for Adam Cole. Adam Cole should come back to WWE. He should come back to Papa H. It'll be fine. I don't know. I got nothing. It makes me sad because it's two guys that I like, and we're gonna say that a lot in this preview that we're doing here. It's two guys that I like, that I'm enjoying. One guy that I've liked for a long time, one guy that you've just introduced to me that I like, and you're encouraging me to not care about either one of them, and that's a bummer.
Yeah. Maybe Samoa Joe didn't hold it. Maybe it was just the world title, and I'm thinking he held the other one, but still.
I think he held the ROH title.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I thought
it's on the same level.
I thought Samoa
but
Joe
they're
had it,
two
and him
totally
and
separate companies.
I can remember him and Wardlow fighting for it at one point, I thought.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
It was like
Well, this is the
Revolution
thing.
or something for the TNT title.
This is the thing.
Maybe I'm
This is the
crazy,
thing.
but
Jake, you're proving my point though, because I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying that I don't remember that he did.
yeah,
and that's
because I think he was television champion at the same time for Ring of Honor, and then I think it was like him and Wardlow and Powerhouse
maybe.
Hobbs and Samoa
That's
Joe.
right. That's right. He had both because they were calling the TNT title kind of a TV title as well, and he was the king of TV.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Okay, so we're not crazy.
But now I'm remembering that gimmick. I'm not remembering him with the title.
But look at how much it took to get to that point for us. That's the example. Like instantly, I could think of Cena's, U.S. title run. I could think of people. I could point to. A lot of it melds together because one, they have way too many belts. Like you said, they're unifying belts later, and instead of making it intercontinental,
and see, the funny thing is,
it's
like,
unified.
WWE
what the fuck?
has always struggled with the U.S. title. To make us care about the U.S. title, to make us see it as equal as the Intercontinental Championship, etc. Right? But you still remember stuff that happened. The John Cena U.S. Open Challenge was a thing. The ridiculous back and forth MJF Matt Hardy feud over the U.S. title, where some of the matches were basketball games, was a thing. Like even when it was stupid, we remembered it. We're talking about somebody like Samoa Joe, who I think you and I both respect the hell out of, and we didn't even remember that he had it. That's what I'm going for here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for here. And I want to talk about wasting talented people's times. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay should be in the world title picture, and yet they're a vanity project for the Bucks.
Wardlow's over on American Gladiators. Like, what is he doing?
Well, he's going to hang out with the Miz, and he's going to get himself moved over to WWE, and good for him. But here's the thing. Here's a comparison I want to make, and here's a little bit of a defense that I want to throw up here because he's not on the card. A lot of people come gunning with both barrels for somebody like a Chris Jericho these days. Oh, it's the Jericho vortex. Oh, he's going to latch on to whoever's hot just to make himself look good. The Bucks came back just in time to hook up with the Death friggin' whatever they are.
Yeah.
And have a match against the
Death Riders.
Okay, but the Bucks came back just in time. Like they took their nice long vacation or whatever.
And right into it.
And they came back just in time for the two of them as a tag team to take on the two guys that should be going for the world title.
Yep.
How is that not what everybody accuses Jericho of doing, other than Jericho has the added weight on his shoulders of he's an ex-WWE guy?
Yeah. So I think Kyle Fletcher wins before we get into this match because this needs to be brought up anyways.
I'm an Adam Cole guy, but Kyle Fletcher should win this. He's the guy on the up. I don't think he's going to do anything for the belt because I don't think anybody can. It's going to get absorbed into, hey, we're the Callis family and we picked up another useless piece of AEW tin.
Yep.
But I don't know. Eventually, like if they're not going to give Will Ospreay the belt, have it be, and I know I don't want Will Ospreay anywhere near the Callis family either, but have Will Ospreay finally get it through to Kyle Fletcher that, like, fuck these guys and don't necessarily be a good guy, but just don't be that kind of bad guy.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if part of that story is they go on a mini tag run, it wouldn't it's not ideal, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's
No.
better than what both of them are doing now.
Yeah.
Which is a low bar.
No, you're not
Let's
wrong.
be real
I
for a
mean, it is
second.
a low bar, very low bar.
But yeah, Kyle Fletcher will win. Adam Cole will make him look like $1,000,000. There is the thing hanging over our heads now of I hope Adam Cole stays not injured. And I'm not saying that with a hint of like mocking or anything, but he's had a rough time recently. Doesn't mean he shouldn't
Yeah,
try, doesn't mean he shouldn't be there, by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't want him to get hurt.
I
Kyle
know.
Fletcher's gonna win.
I know.
Kyle Fletcher's gonna win. And a win over Adam Cole is more meaningful than I got the TNT title from Adam Cole. How weird is that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the entire waste of Swerve Strickland and Will Osprey for the ego of the Bucks. If Osprey and Strickland lose, neither one of them can challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. If the Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their EVP titles, which is insulting to the intelligence because we know, whatever the story tells us, they still are the EVPs.
Yeah.
I've heard a story that Strickland loses intentionally to fuck over Osprey out of getting a title shot, which makes no sense because
Yeah.
the
I
one
don't
that would
like
want
that
to
at
fuck
all.
over the one that would want to fuck over anybody would be Strickland and Hangman, and Hangman's not in the match, and
Yeah.
roddy roddy rah. I don't like both are stupid. Like, do you remember when they did the whole Cody Rhodes thing of like, oh, if I lose, I won't challenge for the world title, and then he
Yeah.
lost, and then he was Cody was I don't know whether you
He
want to say
stuck to
like
that one for a while. I mean, he did.
yeah. I was well, he actually stuck to the gimmick, which is either really noble or really stupid. And it kind of put a glass ceiling on him, and he was just kind of TNT guy. I will say, when I go back to the TNT thing, when Cody Rhodes held it, it felt like a title.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now, I wasn't giving him the credit he deserved at the time.
But he did
Hands
a lot
up,
of good with
oh,
Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin and making younger
and his
guys.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ricky
when
Saints
when
and
he got when he got hurt, and Sammy and Goldust had to do like for the interim TNT. Like, it wasn't an ideal situation, but the matches were fun. And now they're a tag team in ROH that we never see.
yeah,
Because I'm not buying ROH Club or whatever the fuck it is.
no one is.
Um, but yeah, but like if neither one of them can fight for the title for a year, that's like the two people that AEW fans. Hangman is a different story. We'll get to Hangman in a second. But like as far as like the top baby faces that should be at the top of the company, it's Swerve or it's Osprey, according to most AEW fans, right?
Yeah,
So if they lose, and you know for a fact that the guys that you back aren't going to win the title for a year, how does that motivate you to keep watching?
true, but
On the other side of the coin, like I say, Young Bucks lose, and the whole story is, oh, we don't want to be EVPs ourselves. We're going to give the title back to Tony Khan, which he already has, and we know for real that the Young Bucks still are EVPs in the company, so it's
so
insulting to the intelligence. And
it
but
doesn't make Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland EVPs, though, right?
No, they said
Okay,
when they win, they will give the title back to the people by giving it back to Tony Khan, who
okay.
already has a position in the
That's what I
company.
heard you say, but I just wanted to make sure, like, that
Yeah.
was
Well,
definite because,
they said it on Dynamite.
yeah,
I don't but, like, either one is stupid. Tell the people that they love the most will definitely not have a title match, or tell the people that in storyline, these people are not the bosses, but in real life, they are still the boss. Remember when it got all convoluted in WWE, where Mick Foley came in and teamed up with Linda, and they took the title away or the power away from Vince, and then he got it back 2 weeks later, and then there was shares of the company and
yeah, that was
Ric
bad.
Flair and, like, all the whole, like, we know Vince runs the
Just a
company, like,
mess. It was just a
and I'm
total
not here
crazy
to
mess.
defend Vince, but, like, it would be like somebody saying, "Hey, Vince is just here to do commentary. He doesn't run the company anymore." But, like, we know it's a lie.
Yeah, and we
We know it's a
know it's
lie.
a lie.
It'd be like Triple H just saying he's one of the trainers in the back. Like, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Is a lie. So really, with this, I think the
There's
Young
no good
Bucks
answer.
win. I think the Young Bucks
Yeah.
are going to win, and they're
Yeah.
going to wait a year to crown Will Ospreay champion. They're going to crown him as champion next year at All In. The whole story is going to be a year of him building to finally become champion. I think that's going to be the story they tell
But
with
how do you
Swerve working with him and
but
like
how do you
backing
tell the
him.
story? Because before we get to All In next year is still within that year bubble, right?
Yeah.
So if he can't fight for a title, he's not going to be in any matches that get you a contendership.
Well, I think he and Swerve are going to go for like the tag titles eventually. They're
Yeah.
going to team up still. That's
I
my
don't know.
take.
I just think you're putting a muzzle on like
Oh, I agree.
I'm
It's not ideal. I don't
I'm
think there's a
all
good
in.
way
I'm
out of
all
it.
in on Osprey, and I'm 50-50 on Swerve. But even with Swerve, I'm like, okay, even when he's not for me, because sometimes he's not, he's for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Like
this is
he's
not
the
a great
guy.
booking maneuver either way.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no win. Like,
Yeah.
I would love, like, just for what I think of the people involved, I would love to see the Young Bucks get smoked. But
Oh,
then we
yeah.
do this fake power struggle storyline that's stupid. And so I'll go with my gut. I want to see Swerve and Will win, but the stipulations are bullshit.
I think they're losing. I think the Young Bucks win here.
Okay. So the New Japan Wet Dream match, Kazuchika Okada, the Continental Champion, versus Kenny Omega, the International Champion, for the new AEW Unified title, because the solution to too many belts is another belt.
And okay, well, they're taking two and making it one. Fine. But there's also this. The only reason this match is interesting is because of everything that happened not in this company. They
Thank
finally
you.
showed one video package, and all it showed was, hey, New Japan's a thing. It was awesome back then. We had great matches, and we've done nothing in this company that warrants any level of excitement at all compared to what we gave you back then.
Okay, two sides to this, right? One
Big
of them
time.
is one of them is something that AEW is guilty of a lot.
Yeah.
Get excited for this here because it happened over here is a
Yeah.
big thing for them. Now,
Like
there is a
the
positive.
exploding barbed wire death match. They build that just like, oh, remember Onita? Oh yeah, look at FMW. We're
No,
doing
but
that.
here's the thing where I want to be kind of fair, right? It is it's a partial credit to them because they are right in the sense that for a long time WWE pretended that no other companies existed, nobody else had any history if it didn't happen in WWE. They go the other way and they build on what you know of these people before they got to AEW. That's respectable to a point. That is. I
Yeah,
hurts me to say it. It's
to a
respectable
point.
to a point. But when you're hinging your entire story on something that happened elsewhere, it's going to be bad. Also, you get somebody like me who's come around on Kenny Omega, like I did, thanks to Will Ospreay and whatever. You put him in there with somebody that I'm seeing for the first time this past year or so in Kazuchika Okada, who's boring as hell and gets a huge pop for saying bitch,
Yeah.
and Kenny Omega, who, like I say, I'm with, but he's got his health stuff and he's doing interviews constantly about how I can't do this anymore and I can't do this anymore and I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Then
He's
the
spent.
idea, which is fair. Like the guy's been through hell and the diverticulitis and all the other
Yeah.
nasty stuff.
And
But
the
in that
7-star
case,
matches he's put his body through to do so.
of course, credit to him. Like that's what I'm saying. Credit to him. Like
Yeah, I
it's
agree
not
with
a
you.
dig on him. But then in that case, this is where the video package comes back and bites you in the ass because you show this video package of these, I haven't watched them, but like these rule
Blood
breaking
feuds, yeah.
glass ceiling
Gladiator
shattering.
battles.
We've reinvented wrestling matches, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be that.
No.
It would be. I'm sorry,
It
but
would
it
be
would be
impossible.
like they had the Hardys there for a little bit. They have Edge and Christian there now, right? You wouldn't show TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17 right before a 2025 Hardys versus Edge and Christian match.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't want to
Because
showcase the limitations.
comparison is the thief of joy, and you get
Yes.
analysis paralysis, but you
Yeah.
can't. Analysis paralysis is a thing too, by
It
the
is
way.
a thing, but you just made me chuckle, but I haven't heard that in a while. So, and
Yeah.
you know what else is a thing is the fact that it's just straight up bullshit. You know as well as I do. They're banking off again things that happen in other company. The Hurt Syndicate was not over in AEW. They were over in WWE, and you just brought them in. You didn't.
Well, the Hurt Syndicate thing is The Hurt Syndicate thing is an entirely different story because MJF is telling everybody with a microphone that will listen that the Hurt Business was an entirely offensive, racist. Oh, they just put all the black guys in one group. Like it was horrible. It was terrible. It was peak Vince McMahon. So we're gonna do the same exact thing in AEW because I can do the thing that was getting me the attention and
Because
call
I'm
it good
better
over
than you
here.
and you know it
Oh
exactly.
my
And
fucking
that's
god.
hey, you know what? He's not.
Oh, but it's okay because they've got a token white guy this time. Did I say that out
Ah,
loud? Did I say that out
you
loud?
did. I hit the well
Anyway,
button. Um, yeah, Kenny Omega's winning. He's getting the Intercontinental title. Oh, can't say that. We'll get sued. Sorry. We got to be careful about what we say there, or else we might get some lawyers on our case.
America deserved
they won't call it
9/11,
the
dude.
Oh,
Intercontinental
America
Jesus.
title,
deserved
but they
9/11,
but
dude.
they do want to have on their biggest show of the year a match that is pretty much the International Continental Championship.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
and
that that's a thing.
but
You
for
know,
all the sickos
we're gonna rip
saying
off New Japan while taking a dig at WWE with two guys that aren't as good as they once were through no fault of their own.
all of the dumb sickos saying that they can't have an IC title because of copyright. WWE would sue them because there's no other world heavyweight champion. There's no other
There's no other US like
yeah,
literally
come on.
Doesn't New Japan have a US title that Moxley
Yes,
carried around for a while?
yes.
I guess you can't like copyright US because it's a country.
Yeah, like but calling it the Intercontinental fits because it's the international and the continental. Like you
Yeah.
guys went with unified championship, really?
Which will only ever draw
And
attention
that's
to the
not
fact that
bigger
it's
than
one
the
belt
main title, but you're treating it like it's bigger than the main title. So now you're
Oh
hitting a
no,
whole nother world of problems.
the one thing Tony Khan said when
Yeah,
they announced this initially when he made the press conference, we want something else equal to the world title. But calling it the unified, you can only unify more than one thing. So the entire existence of the unified championship is to remind you this used to be two titles.
yeah.
It's like the when the first year they did the Continental Classic and it was for like three different belts and they had fucking Burger Kingston out there carrying around three belts.
Three
I'm
belts,
telling
yeah.
you right now, I don't think he is, but I swear to God, Kazuchika Okada, if he wins this, he's going to carry around all three belts.
Yeah, probably.
And to be fair, yes, when they unified the WWE and Universal titles and made the WWE Unified title,
Yeah.
Roman Reigns did
The
the same
undisputed
thing.
one.
It was dumb then.
Yeah.
It'll be dumb now. Kenny Omega's already done a belt collector thing, but Sasha Banks is doing it worse than him.
Yeah, remember him going to
I'd like to see
Impact,
Kenny Omega
taking that title and
I'd like to
leaving?
see I'd li Yeah, but WWE is the one that's mistreating TNA, remember that.
Ah, yes, that's
Scott
right.
De Scott D'Amore went out and said point blank period, like, "Yeah, this didn't really work out for us at all because AEW didn't let us do anything." But yeah, we'll blame WWE once again because that's the default setting. I really hope Kenny Omega wins it. I really, after all, again, it's the whole inside the ring, outside the ring thing. But like, the guy's been through a lot. I'd like to just see him have a happy moment.
How
I
could they
think
not
they're going to
have
give it to
Kenny
him.
win it? Come on, really? How could they not have Kenny win it?
Anyways, and oh, this is going to be quick. I hope. Uh, Timeless Tony Storm is going to lose her belt to Mercedes Moné because she's got bruises on her knees.
Literally what I said on the other podcast earlier, being around the ballpark. I agree with Mike over there. I was like, I'm sorry, but this is what's happening. Like it's happening. That's all I can tell you. She's losing the belt. Tony's getting defeated. That's it.
Yep.
It
You see,
sucks.
I
It
think we
hurts.
talked about it on the other pod, and I don't remember who the other wrestler was. But there was another female wrestler out there who is out on the indies, and she basically put a post out there like, there's more than one belt collector in this business, and I think she has like 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
And Sasha Banks messaged her or texted her, or that I don't know, X posted, tweeted, whatever, back to her immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 12 sounds good.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks.
what are we doing here? Chris Statlander
Making us all be clowns. That's what,
Chris Statlander picked up a title somewhere else over the weekend as well. She like posted, first title I've won in however long and whatever. Immediately underneath Mercedes Moné with the eyes emoji, and she's just like, "Get away from me!" Like at this point, anybody that has a cooperative relationship with AEW, you don't want to be a woman with a title
Yeah, no.
because you're going to end up handing it to Sasha Banks.
They're going to make you a
And
clown.
that's fucked.
And so there is to it.
Yeah. The Sasha Steamroller is a thing. It was a thing in WWE, and it's a thing in AEW.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
not even a company thing. This is a Sasha Banks thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tony Khan in the back going, "This is great."
They need somebody to call her out that actually can defeat her. They need their own Sam Hyde, you know, their own boogeyman. They need to find somebody that won't take her shit, that doesn't care about money. You know, they need like their own Ronda Rousey, but not. You get what I'm saying? They need someone to come in that doesn't give two shits because they've got so much potential behind them, and they're just like, "I'm coming to get you." Like we need that kind of energy.
I'm coming to kill you.
That, you know, we need it.
It should, like, if she was still in the company, it should have been Paige.
It should have been or Britt Baker.
Britt Baker, but I'm saying selfishly Paige, because
yeah,
like,
Saraya should have been the one to take her down.
You broke my neck and almost ended my career. I'm going to take the belt off you while you've got one, let alone fucking 25.
Yep.
Like,
it essentially writes itself until now she's no longer there. Tony didn't know what to do with Saraya and just never did anything, sadly.
People, and we're going to talk about this later on in the week because it has to do with other shows, but people are talking about, oh, NXT are thieves. Look at how they just snatched up TNA's title for one belt.
Yeah. Literally one
belt. And it's not like Trick was the reigning NXT champion at the same time.
Oh no.
Like, he wasn't in the title picture. He went and participated in like the crossover or whatever, but like, Jesus Christ. Like, she must have a throat like the Rideau Canal. I'm just
there's
got to
be something in there. I'm not
here's the thing, though. On the other side of the coin, and I don't think this is entirely Toni Storm's fault, but have you seen the stuff coming out from her this past week as well? Conveniently, just after Blake Monroe signs with WWE, she comes out with this tell-all expose about how she never really liked the Hollywood ending.
Really?
She went out and said, "Oh, I'm glad some people liked it. I thought it was a horrible bit of business."
Oh.
And
okay.
the defense is that she's doing that interview in character.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, because she's an over the top caricature character. I can buy that she's doing it in character. I don't buy that the timing is coincidental.
Yeah. I agree.
You could have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, a lot of it could have been done a long time ago. So,
and I'm saying, like, I don't put it on Tony because obviously she's not her own boss. I put it on Tony because he is her boss.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like some petty fucking shit, man. I'm just saying. Moxley coming out this week or last week, I should say, on Dynamite saying, "Oh, I don't come out here calling myself the best in the world. That's some bitch ass basic shit." Okay, tell me you're not over CM Punk without telling me you're not over CM Punk.
Exactly.
Mercedes is going to rob Tony Storm. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it before, and I've said it again, and I'm going to say it now. The Tony Storm, the timeless, the black and white actress shtick is not for me. I can't hate how much Tony Storm throws herself into it.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of, from the outside looking in kind of thing, but I've got a lot of respect for what she's done for this character. And I mean, I like Tony Storm when she was in WWE, and I will say that unlike Mercedes, Tony Storm was misused in WWE. Mercedes got like 27 titles in WWE too, just not all at the same time.
Pretty much.
I was kind of sort of a main eventer at WrestleMania, except not really, and I was only there because of DEI, and it was night one. Moving swiftly on. I'm sorry, the only three women that have main evented WrestleMania are Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. Why? Because they were the ones that deserved to do so. Night one is not the main event. That's why Cody Rhodes didn't finish his story on night one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still say the night one is the main event. I'm against you on this one, but I see your point. I stand against it. But all in all, I know
there's a lot of people that disagree.
Mercedes is taking the belts. She's beating Tony.
Would you? Okay, not saying you're wrong. Not saying I'm right, even though I like to think that I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
would Cody Rhodes finishing the story mean as much if they had done it night one?
I still say yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
They
Fair.
could have had it all done night one. Still, like if they didn't need the
If they
tribal
didn't do the
match,
tag match, yeah.
yeah, and they
No,
just
no, I
had
mean,
that
like,
be
if
night one.
say they had chosen a different match for night, like the ladies triple threat that started night two,
Yeah,
make that the main event of night one. If you
yeah.
swap the main events, actually, you know what? That would put another set of kick-ass ladies in the main event of night two. Never mind. I'm making a horrible point here.
Ah,
I
see, you just screwed yourself into making me right twice.
Well, no, with specifically this year's with specifically the WrestleMania 40
I know.
example.
I'm
But
just
I
backing
just
you into
think
a corner into the fight.
it's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying if you're fighting on the card of WrestleMania 40 and after your match there's still more WrestleMania 40,
Yeah,
that wasn't the main event.
I get your point.
I know people don't agree. That's absolutely fine. I'm not that toxic that I'm gonna go like light a Tesla on fire because people disagree
Yeah.
with me.
See, no,
You know what I might say?
because there is more of Mania. I mean, that is a good point, but I'm still
Hmm,
saying like you were the main event of that night. So technically,
hmm,
you main evented WrestleMania, but you didn't main event WrestleMania
yeah, you main evented a night of
of
WrestleMania
WrestleMania, but you
rather than
didn't main
main. Yeah,
event. Yes, that I
it's
might
like when
agree with
it's like
more.
when people used to say when they used to break up Monday Night Raw into two halves,
Yeah,
and
Raw is War.
they well no they used to say like what was the first hour main event, and I'm like there's still more show. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's the same show. No, now it's
I get that it was
Warzone.
I get that it was important because like you had to get people to carry over into the next hour, so it was an important spot. But the first hour main event isn't a thing. It's like when they said, you know, when they were building up to the ECW arena shows and Rhino showed up for a night and they started saying ECW's or AEW's Rhino.
Yeah.
AEW's Rhino isn't a thing.
No, he was there
We've done that
once.
before. Yep.
Once.
Yep.
Main
We can be
event, sir.
ECW. It'll be great.
I
Oh man.
I'm gonna go first on this one because
Go for it. I've got a lot to say.
they've had Brian marched out quite a few times.
Mm,
Recently, he comes out for a dark match. They did it in Mexico. They did it, in several other
yeah.
spots.
Oh, the dark segment or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, his neck is broke and bad. He's still going numb. Like, motherfucker, he
What are
needs
we doing?
surgery. He said he needs surgery and he's doing piss poor.
Mm.
Brian is not in good shape, but he still wants to wrestle one more match. Why? I don't know. He had that great match, and then the send off was shit, but whatever. You had that great match where
Because
you
the
got the
last thing we
belt.
saw was his head in a bag. I don't blame him for
I
wanting to
don't
have another
blame him
match.
either. I know, truly, but fucking Moxley. Ah, you stupid. So, any event, we go ahead and we're going to get the match. It plays out, but just when Hangman's about to get it done, yeah, what's his name? Cobb and all the other Death Riders are just going to be the numbers too much. The faces can't get the job done. Moxley wins. Then Moxley's beating down Hangman afterwards. He's about to suffocate him or something along the lines of that. And that's when we hear Brian's music. He's going to come out and then he's going to point, and Darby Allin is going to descend and come back and challenge Moxley. And Darby Allin is going to be the one to beat him finally for the title because they sent Darby Allin flying down the stairs all those months ago to send him on his way to Everest, and he ascended that, he climbed that, he did that. Go
He did the
Darby.
thing. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what he didn't do? Win the title, and that's what he's coming back to do. This was the plan all along. It's not Hangman, it's Darby.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but feel that way, that was always the story they were going to try and tell, and I don't think Hangman's going to do it. I know you have a lot more to say, so please, sir, enlighten me.
Well, what you said just put a lot of hope in my heart because I
Hopefully.
10 times over, I would rather it be Darby Allin than Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Again, I gotta go same sort of thing I said with Swerve, even though there's sometimes that I like Swerve. I've never, ever, 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 ever gotten the hype around Hangman Page. I don't get it. I don't get this big like, oh, he's reinvented wrestling. I don't get this, oh, no matter where he is on the card, he's the main character of AEW. I don't get it. People act like the sun rises and sets on this guy's dick. And I don't get it at all. I don't get so you've got this guy that I can't stand and John Moxley, who I wanna love, who they've ruined. Like I said it at the beginning of the pod. Promotional malpractice. I don't care that I stole the phrase from Short Mike over in the UK. I don't. This match makes me angry. I
I see
want it to
what
be
people get
Darby.
from Moxley. I don't see what people get from Hangman, and I've said that to you for a long
I
time now.
I see what I used to get from Moxley.
Even
I
so,
see
yeah.
before I got sick of what's his name, Burger Kingston and his
Yes,
shtick. I wanted John Moxley and Kingston to be the ones that came in and absolutely obliterated the Bucks because I thought
yeah.
they were so opposed to each other
It felt
in
that
like
way.
you guys are full of shit. You come in out here dressed like your grandmother's couch. You do a bunch of flips and gymnastic bullshit. We're just going to punch you in the face. Then I realized how in character and out of character obnoxious Burger Kingston is, and they've just made John Moxley into a pussy. And the
Yeah.
worst thing about that is
And
being
he's
a
a bit of a
pussy in
bitch, huh? He acts like he's
yeah,
Mr. Tough Ass, but he's very whiny
but
behind the
that's my point.
scenes, and
That's my
it's
point. You
yeah,
can be a this is the thing. Wrestling is awesome. You can be just about anything in wrestling. You can be a pussy heel in wrestling. It's fine. But the worst, the most obnoxious, the most like waste of my
egregious.
time thing, egregious. There we go. Perfect word. Thank you for being my thesaurus. It's tired in here.
I got
The
you, bud.
worst thing is somebody that is being booked like a pussy, acting like they're tough as nails.
Hmm.
This is this is current day pussy John Moxley dressed up
Preach.
dressed up as 2020 hard ass getting us through the fucking pandemic John Moxley.
Yep. He's not the same. You know why, too? It's not because he's not drunk either. That's not it. It's the
Mm,
mindset behind what made him drink before. I'm sorry to say it, but he was drinking to hide from something, to get through the pain, to get through.
mhm.
Without the drinking now, he has a different mindset, and his character is more
I want the John
lackadaisical,
Moxley
not
I want the
caring.
John Moxley that came out after he had done a bunch of his recovery shit and
Yes,
told the guy in the crowd to fuck
fuck
off
off. Yes,
for
that's
for mocking
that's
him for his drinking. Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need to be drunk. It's just the mindset he had at that time when he
It's
was
the
drinking. We can't
okay,
get back. He's like he's
I
lost a
don't
step of confidence or something.
I don't believe this about Bray Wyatt, but it's the accusation that people used to throw at Bray Wyatt of, "Oh, he just goes out there and talks some nonsense and then the bell rings."
Yeah.
How did John Moxley become that guy? Friggin' I'm gonna say it, 3rd time tonight. Shout out to the guys over at the Wrestling for Life, specifically, KJ White,
Yeah.
who said for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, "This won't be a match. This will not be a match. It'll be a stip. It'll be a hardcore something or other. It'll be a death match because John Moxley can't wrestle anymore." I don't think it's true that he can't wrestle anymore. We just haven't seen it in a long ass time. And what did they do this week? And they made somebody else say it so that it wasn't as obvious. They made Hangman say it instead of John Moxley. He says, "I want Texas death because I'm the
Yeah.
cowboy and that's what cowboys do, even though I'm the emo cowboy with the fucking butterflies and shit. I used to be a school teacher, but I'm gonna kill you with a fucking plastic bag."
I remember when they
Right.
first brought back the Texas Death Match, everyone's like, "Oh my God, what does that mean?" Like, I haven't heard of that ever. What is that? What Texas Death Match? Like, it was this rarity because it hadn't been used since the studio days,
Mhm,
AWA and Crockett stuff. And now you have people being like, "Oh my God, again? Really? Another tag?" Like, there's nothing special about it anymore. It's supposed to have special rules. It's supposed to be this whole thing. And it's like a Armageddon rules match. So
mhm,
you have to be rendered unconscious before the referee will count to 10. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like that's how it was with Dory Funk Jr. It match went on for 4 hours.
mhm.
I don't know. And also you have like Monsters Ball and Trick or
All
Street
kinds of
fights and
different
all the
things, man.
dumb shit. But
But you know what
really
the
the
thing is though, like
Texas Death Match is
Monsters
supposed to knock
Ball
you out.
Monsters Ball existed, and it's not a free pass. It's a legitimate different wrestling companies have different worlds, right? Impact or TNA or whatever you wanna call it created that world where all the spooky shit could happen, where all the really, really extra well, you had, Su Yung from the Undead Realm. You had
Yeah.
the initial stages of the Hardy compound in Broken Mat. So the idea that you were going up against Abyss and both of you had been in solitary confinement for a week before the match, it worked because that's the world they created. This is the company that said, "No, we're gonna do it real. We're gonna treat it like a real sport. We're gonna have, like, win-loss records, except twice over we've realized that doesn't work. Instead, we're gonna do, oh, we're gonna put a needle in your cheek before we put you into a cinder block made out of dust and all this other fucking bullshit with the shopping bags and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like, Abyss was Abyss, right? And shout out Abyss. Abyss is in the freaking WWE 2K now, and it's awesome. They have his
So
original
cool.
music, and it's fan. But Abyss could have regular matches. And I'm sorry, I hate saying this because I used to be a big fan of, like, not just Dean Ambrose, like John Moxley when he first got to AEW
Yeah.
used to be like the guy I was watching for, the guy you were behind,
Yeah.
the guy,
He
not
was
to be
putting on
not
good matches and killing himself, but it wasn't all outside,
he was doing in WWE. I'm sorry, during COVID, I don't want to be too serious for a second.
no.
He was doing in COVID for AEW what people like Asuka and Bailey and Drew McIntyre, etc., were doing for WWE. They were pulling people through. They were having fun.
Yeah.
Whether it was Bailey having her feud with Michael Cole or
Yeah.
Asuka
Ding
just
dong,
being
hello.
like, or Asuka just like shouting at the top of her lungs like there was people out there in the 500th row, even though they were in the performance center. Like those
Yeah.
people were getting us through, or they were trying to at least. John Moxley was doing the same thing in a much more like off the leash John Moxley kind of way. And
Yeah.
now he's a pussy.
He
And
always
he's a
came to the
pussy
crowd
pretending to
and
be a tough guy.
it felt great. And then it became all about like this masturbatory length of entrance. Like he had to march himself out there. It wasn't about being with the fans. It was about him getting his time and just it lost its meaning.
And how do you justify at this point if AEW is supposed to be the company that doesn't insult your intelligence, that respects the fans, that treats it like a real sport, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How many people have grabbed that briefcase from John Moxley since he became champion at
Oh, I know.
some point or other to chase him away, whatever, and none of them have opened the briefcase?
I thought it was locked. I thought that was like the point behind it. They couldn't
Doesn't matter.
open
Take
it.
take a slit. Like there's everything under the
I know,
ring.
but
You
they haven't even
can get
attempted to open it. Exactly.
no exactly. This is my point. Like wrestling has bolt cutters because wrestling has cage matches occasionally.
Yep.
Like it is what it is.
He
Like telling me
assaulted
there's
a
not.
man for a screwdriver and got sued for it. There's
Yeah,
tools all around. Moxley
I mean
is one.
John Moxley is assaulting all kinds of people, and my headset is coming off. That's fantastic. Now,
Now,
if this wasn't a clusterfuck enough,
yeah.
before the Young Bucks match was announced,
Uh-huh.
this is rumor and innuendo, so take it for what it's worth. It might not be gospel. Have you heard what the initial idea for this main event was?
Very vaguely. I know it was a big clusterfuck, but no, what was the final idea for
It
this?
was going to be
Dear God.
Hangman Page,
Uh-huh.
Will Ospreay,
Oh God.
Swerve Strickland versus the Death Riders in a 3-on-3 match for the world title.
Oh God. I hate when they've done that in WWE a couple of times where it's a multi-man match. They did it with Triple H when he was with Vince and Shane against Orton,
So what
and
happens
he got
if
disqualified and lost the belt. Like there's things
if
like that.
Wheeler Yuta pins Will Ospreay, if we've fallen that far down the pecking order,
Yeah.
is he the champion?
No, he would retain for Moxley, I believe, is how they do it.
That's so
You
fucking
pick like
crazy.
team captains and people fight each other. It's
Like credit to them, they didn't do it. But
dead on arrival.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We know what this really is. WWE did Cody finishing the story. He had the entire bloodline behind Roman Reigns, and basically you had Cody and the good guy Avengers at the end. They had to make that a way that wouldn't be disqualified. So they did the tribal combat, tribal chief rules, whatever it was, to make it no disqualification. Yeah, to make it no disqualification, so that all those run-ins could happen and they could be fun and whatever the case may be. I guarantee you, the people that are going to come out, you're going to get all of the Death Riders on one side. You're going to get Will Ospreay for sure. You're going to get Swerve in the oh my god, they're finally on the same page moment that we all see coming 5 miles away. You're going to get the ops because for some reason the ops are involved in this, and then the light's going to turn out. Lights are going to turn back on. Sting's back there for one more appearance. He decks Wheeler Yuta or something like that. Darby Allin comes down, kicks somebody in the nuts with the skateboard, and then fucking Hangman wins, and I cry, and not in the good way,
Uh,
and everything's shit, and
it would be
everything goes
Brian,
emo
not
cowboy.
Sting. Sting's done. He said he's
Yeah.
not even putting the paint back on.
Yeah, but Steve Borden, even if there was no paint, even if he just showed up in the ring in his like workout gear, like which is basically what the Undertaker did. Let's
Yeah,
be fair.
he
Let's be
did.
fair.
He was
He
like,
wasn't the dead
I'm
man.
not getting dressed for this shit. Yeah.
I don't even
I'm
want to do
fucking
my entrance.
tired.
He's doing
Michelle took my podcast and now she pissed off Booker T. She's ruining everything. All I got's left is my street clothes. She took my working uniform, bitch. Oh, I'm a
Hey,
mean dead
Sting.
man.
Hey Sting, you want to play some bones? But seriously, like, if Sting came back one more time, I would get it. It's fine. Give him one more big arena moment. Like, if he came in and showed up and decked somebody and left like The Undertaker did, I wouldn't mind. It would be like the 100th stupid thing we've seen that night.
It would be. Sorry, there's something
But
about
they
the
are
Undertaker hiding and catering from his wife. Just, is Michelle here? Don't tell her you saw me.
I'm the last lawman, but I still need a divorce lawyer.
She tried to
Oh my
take
god.
the dog.
I saw the best thing the other day. I don't know if I shared it with you, but I shared it with the guys over at Wrestling for Life, and it was like, what's your favorite masked wrestler? Whoever you just said, you're wrong. It's DDP when he was stalking Undertaker's wife.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
He
Hangman's
should
gonna
have
win this,
kept
and
the bitch.
That's what we need. Mean Mark Callis shows up in AEW to hit John Moxley with a diamond cutter. This is such shit, man. If Darby comes back, cool. If somehow Hangman doesn't win, I will give this 5 stars in the Texas Dome, brother.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
he's gonna
He's got
win, and it's
to.
gonna be stupid, and people are gonna
Moxley's
pretend that it's
winning.
good.
Mean Mark is going to be hiding from Michelle. You know, she's on LFG now. She replaced his podcast host, that guy, this friend.
John Mox. Okay, here it is.
So,
WrestleMania lore. Okay.
yeah.
It's basically a Texas death, whatever. It's a street fight. Right? John Moxley's street fight history at WrestleMania, or sorry, Dean Ambrose's.
Yes.
So John Moxley somehow beats Hangman. I cheer. I raise my hands up in the air because it's fucking awesome. And out comes his next opponent for All Out in Toronto when Spaz is going to be able to watch it. It's John Moxley versus like Super Viking mode Brock Lesnar.
Yes, I was gonna say it just goes ahead.
or his daughter. Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Brock's daughter is scary. I mean, I wouldn't mess with that. She definitely she comes out. You know, she'll be challenging everybody. You know,
win a sword fight for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's all ridiculous.
It is.
I think we've tried to pull out the couple of good things here.
Yeah.
I'm
How
mostly
did they shit the
looking
bed on Athena? How?
Because Sasha Banks and the knee pads.
Oh my god! I mean, it should be Athena versus Sasha. They had that match and it was shit because of Sasha. Like, I'm done with Mercedes.
It should be Athena versus friggin' Toni Storm.
It should have been, yeah, realistically, no kidding. But
realistically, the thing I'm most looking forward to on this show is the 2 gauntlet matches. And I think that says about all you need to say. There is no, what did I say at the beginning? There is no atmosphere. There is no action. There is no momentum.
Yeah,
celebrating. They're doing what WWE does now. They're celebrating the gate, not the ticket
They're not even
sales.
having Dustin and Sammy Guevara on this as, you know, like nothing. Like,
well, they'll be on the show the night before. I think,
yeah, they'll be exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like they could have done it in such a better way, and don't put them in the gauntlet. You know they're going to add a couple more matches as time goes on.
Well, it's in Texas. I think they're going to throw both of them in the gauntlet, which is super unfortunate.
Yeah,
because all that does is you bring out your
there.
Yeah, you bring out your ROH champions. No, I get that they're tag champions, but like you're saying, okay, we're not going to give them a match though. We're just going to throw them in a gauntlet. And if you figure the fact that technically Dustin is a double champion,
But Spaz, Joe Hendry got beat in second. Joe Hendry at
Oh my god! Oh
WrestleMania.
my god! Oh
Remember,
my
Randy
god! Oh
Orton
my
beat
god!
him. Randy
Oh
Orton
my
made him
god!
put his hands side to side.
You mean the TNA World Champion got to represent himself and TNA on the biggest stage there is, in the semi main of one of the biggest WrestleManias ever.
Nope, he
And
got
when you consider what
RKO'd.
the and then you consider what the main event was that night, it was probably seen more fondly than the main event.
It was actually, honestly, but
Oh, that's the other thing I've seen a lot of
uh,
recently. People have spliced together like footage of like Hangman hitting a clothesline on Mox,
yeah.
and then like the Fiend music starts.
That's so
I'd
good
laugh a
too.
lot because they'd have to do so much tap dancing around to not shit on that. Whereas we
It
just
would be
said that was kind of weird. We said that was kind
such
of
this,
weird.
yeah,
Just
such
don't
the
do that again.
challenge. Don't do it again. But pitch dark match too. Electric Boogaloo. Let's
Ugh.
do it.
Oh my god.
What the
Anyways,
fuck
this is
indeed?
gonna
Yeah.
this will be tolerable next Saturday only because it'll be overlapped with the Great American Bash and Saturday night's main event. It's gonna be outdrawn by Goldberg. I'm just putting that one out there. And I'm not even that much looking forward to Saturday night's main event. I'll put that out to you guys right now. Hopefully that'll change in the next couple of days. But we've rambled on this quite enough. This is, like we said, it's become the yearly tradition. It is AEW All In. What the fuck is this show 2025? Jake, tell them where to find you, buddy.
Absolutely. You can go ahead and find me on YouTube. It's Jake Countdown Ended DeMarco. And we'll be live pretty much all week long. We'll be live, always after Raw and after NXT. We'll have Into Somewhere Weekly on Wednesdays. And then we're going to be, I think, live for SmackDown on Friday. And then we'll be live Saturday night for one major all-in review, as well as Great American Bash and Saturday night's main event. And then night 2 with Evolution 2. Spaz will be joining me on YouTube.
We'll talk about everything.
Yeah, and you can find the schedule and everything going on Twitter/X at Countdown Ended, on Instagram and on Rumble as well.
Fantastic. And you guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I have been Spaz. This has been Jake. This has been AEW All In. What the fuck is this show 2025? Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and this super sexy fucker over here are tagging out. Bye, guys.
Have you seen my car keys, Michelle?